What makes a novel queer? I'm assuming that if I asked most of y'all that question, you might say a novel with an LGBTQ character. And I think that's fair, but actually a lot of scholars say that's not enough. They say that in order for a novel to be queer, it needs to undermine social norms on some sort of structural level, such as not having binaries. So here's the thing. I really don't like this question, what makes a novel queer, because the very question establishes another binary, queer or normative. So my dissertation argues that we can use bisexual young adult literature in particular for a more complex and realistic framework that understands these novels to be queer and normative at the same time. Specifically, I use the setting to do this. So, okay. If there are any other polysexual people in the room, you're no doubt familiar with the gay-straight binary. Basically, this means that if I'm dating a woman, people assume I'm gay. If I'm dating a man, people assume I'm straight. These types of assumptions erase bisexuality. And these types of assumptions also create more binaries that exist in the very foundations, the very settings of bisexual novels for teens. So setting is a really weird thing because it's so common that it's very easy to overlook. Indeed, we're all in this theater together right now, but I'm assuming that most of us haven't really given that a lot of thought, right? Especially those of us with a lot of embodied privilege. We don't have to think about the ways that our bodies and our sexualities get mapped onto our everyday geographies. These are the types of things that I pay attention to with bisexual young adult literature. So for example, in every book I look at, there are two main geographical points that the bisexual protagonist has to jump between. These represent the gay-straight binary. In these moments, the texts are not very queer because of these binaries. However, each text also offers up a third space where the character can explore or question their sexuality with more fluidity. The fact that this happens across so many different novels, across so many different genres, leads me to conclude that we need a bisexual narrative theory, which essentially just means a way to track these patterns and evaluate how bisexuality is represented, especially for young people. My work helps fight bisexual erasure, and it also lets us know how bisexuality is perceived in the real world. So, instead of asking what makes a novel queer or not, perhaps we should ask, what happens when it's both? Thank you.